55th legislature, and that is the WASH Legislative Caucus, to talk about the launch and more of what the WASH Legislative Caucus is going to be involved with. We have Representative Augustine B. Chewolo. He's the District 5 representative of Lofa County and also the co-chair of the WASH Legislative Caucus, and Timothy Ware, the head of the WASH Legislative Secretariat. And that's what we're going to be talking about, the launch of that's the real launch, of course, and what exactly they are going to be involved with. Honorable Chewolo and Mr. Ware, welcome to the Bumper Show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back. Yeah.
Thank you ever so much. I'm so happy to be in your flashing studio. Very long time. Yeah. I want to say thank you. Congratulations for the improvement.
Thank you very much. When was the last time you were here?
I think 6 years ago.
Wow. That's a
in fact, it was in the other building.
Yeah, the other building, because yes, you're right. It was in the other building. Yeah. But welcome anyway, and congratulations on your elections as well.
Thank you. I much appreciate it.
Okay. So today we are here to talk about the relaunch of this WASH Legislative Caucus. Timothy, where you were here just recently. We spoke about this agreement that was reached. In fact, the Speaker of the House endorsed this organ, and he has already put himself into it, promised that indeed he's going to be supportive of whatever undertaking this WASH Legislative Caucus is going to be involved with. But before I go to the co-chair, Honorable Chewolo, I want you, Tim, to just take a minute or two to make the public understand what this Legislative Caucus is all about, the WASH Legislative Caucus, as you are the secretarial head.
Thank you so much. And again, I'm grateful to be here with the co-chair, very proactive leaders, and we are grateful to the rest of the membership of the caucus. So the caucus is all about promoting water sanitation and hygiene at the level of the Capitol building, and this came about in 2011 when we went at the Capitol, most especially from civil society group, calling for the establishment of the Water Sanitation and Hygiene Commission. We noted that at that time, there was not much attention given to water and sanitation. So we needed a group of lawmakers, both representatives and senators, to join the advocacy. So we were able to successfully have this group established in 2016. And right after the establishment of the group, we have the bill establishing the WASH Commission was passed into law. So basically, they are lawmakers that have the interest of the people, that are thinking about the people every day, that are doing everything possible up Capitol Hill to ensure that the needs of the people are met in terms of water, sanitation, and hygiene. You talk about policies in the sector, you talk about financing in the sector, and very importantly, the issue of accountability is key. And so just recently, last year, we launched our accountability forum that talk about partners, including government agencies and institutions that are working in the sector to be accountable to the people. If you talk about bringing $1 million in the sector, it is good. But after your implementation, what's the benefit?
Okay.
So so that's what we have. And the caucus so far in the country is the highest political decision making or political leadership in terms of the structure of the sector, within Liberia. And Liberia was one of the first countries in the world to even have a caucus established. It was Liberia, the first establishing before the United States of America, establishing a caucus on WASH. So we have been in making history. We have been there to set the record for other countries. Some years back, we were in Senegal launching a global level WASH caucus across the country, across the globe. So we are grateful to the lawmakers, most especially when we went for the elections last year. we lost majority of our members. But then with the new leadership we have on board, the new members, it was like they were already dreaming about this, water and sanitation issue. So like you have in studio today and the rest of the members who are not here. I mean, when you go up Capitol Hill, the office of the secretary, we can tell you that it's well structured and supported by the caucus members. Thank you.
Honorable Cholo, you are new to the legislature, but I'm sure you are not new to the challenges and some of these things that we are talking about. I'm sure is one of the main reasons you signed up to this WASH Legislative Caucus. When you were out of the legislature, what knowledge you had about this entire sector?
Thank you very much. And I mean, I extend at this time my appreciation to the chairman, Honorable Thomas Gozi, who I have asked him to be here to represent him because he's not chance. And I want to say a big thank you to the caucus for allowing me to represent here today. Well, this is not strange for me because as a Liberian, I know exactly what Liberia goes through when it comes to health and sanitation, especially my background as a medical practitioner.
Okay.
It also gave a boost to this whole process that we are going through. Many people are not informed, so that's my background. And as a Liberian, like I said, we know the kind of health conditions we all are faced with in Liberia. We know that the prevalent rate of malaria and typhoid and other diseases, diarrhea, comes from poor sanitation in our country. So when the legislators have added all their voice to the many voices, the advocates, the the social workers, I think it pays a lot because they are there in our own preview. We are there to monitor. We are there to supervise. We are there to see what budget comes in. So it gave us the edge in that whatsoever that donors will be putting in the budget when it comes to this program in our various areas of work, we'll be able to monitor it. So I think being part of the program is not a very bad thing for me because I have knowledge when it comes to this particular thing we are talking about.
Okay, and now you are already part of it. I'm sure you heard your chairman, even the speaker, when there was a courtesy visit from the WASH Legislative, that's the Water Aid Liberia Civil Society at his office. When he committed himself, there was something talked about your upcoming retreat, and key about this retreat, probably this will come to you, is the establishment of a standing committee on water, sanitation, hygiene, like every other, sectors, committees at the House of Representatives. Do you think it's something that you will support and it's important that such committee be established?
Yeah, in fact, I was one of those who signed up the other day, who signed to support the committee. And this program we are talking about is that reactivating, trying to put in some strength, some magnitude, so that what had happened in the 54th that did not work good, the 55th will be able to pick up from there.
Okay.
So coming back to the question you asked, the standing committee has a force like any other committee in the House.
Sure.
So when you have a standing committee, I think you stand a better chance of pushing your case. So I think a WASH Legislative Caucus going as a standing committee or forming a standing committee will help us to make sure that we work with our colleagues, our donors, will be able to spearhead some of the activities they want us to do, because we all will be meeting as committee and we all will be pushing our own cases that we have.
Okay. Team, when is the relaunch?
So it's playing for this Friday at the Bodova Palace, and we are expecting the speaker, the deputy speaker, the pro tempore, and over 35 members of the caucus to be at that forum. And thanks to Water Aid as well for supporting that great event. At that forum, we have the caucus TOR that will be reviewed and endorsed. And then there is a 1-year work plan that is going to be discussed and agreed upon. For example, in the 1-year work plan, we're talking about the legislative oversight. What are some of the functions in terms of those institutions implementing WASH program in the country. So the oversight we gave the legislature the opportunity to better understand some of the issues, the challenges within the sector. Then in that web plan, we have a specific portion that talking about budget review session. So whenever the budget comes before the legislature, there should be an opportunity for the caucus member to review that budget and see whether the issue of WASH is mentioned, and not just at the national level, but also at the country level. When decision is made for budget allocation, the issue of water and sanitation should be reflected. So these are issues that will be discussed on Friday of this week, so that when we relaunch with that 1 year web plan, then you will see a lot of activities ongoing. We have some legislative monitoring visit in various areas. For example, those concession areas and other districts that are really, really marginalized. You talk about interior districts and even in Monserrado and other parts of the countries. So our lawmakers, most especially the secretariat, need to provide the first-hand information. The necessary research need to be done. The issue of laws that have been passed over the year, we have overlapping of functions within the sector. You have Minister of Public Works supposed to play a role, and you give that same role to education. And the same thing, you have the WASH Commission supposed to play a regulatory role, then you give that same role to the Water and Sewer Corporation. So these are things that the caucus will be looking at, and you know how the politics work at that point. It's about number. So right now, the co-chair and the rest of the members, they are talking about having the 73 members on board to support the issue of water and sanitation. We as a country, we signed onto the SDG 6, the Sustainable Development Goals, say that by 2030 we should have everyone everywhere having sufficient water. In this country now, the percentage of water, just a safety managed water, is nowhere. Basic water, where you have hand pumps in the community and people have to work for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and some of those hand pumps are drying water in the dry season. You just have 75%. And according to the national data, you have over 35 to 40% of the population still practicing open defecation. Can you imagine? So that is why our lawmakers at Capitol Hill are saying, look, we ourselves will get involved. Our districts, our counties will get involved in solving this problem. We have realized that international partner will not help us to solve the problem if we don't take ownership. So that's the ownership now that the higher level decision-making body is now taking to ensure that we have all of those issues minimized in the sector.
And sure, with this step taken, we expect in fact, for me, right, I've been following WASH issues and following your work, as a matter of fact, and with the force that I'm seeing now, with the commitment of the speaker and other top members of the legislature, I hope we might not have another excuse at the end of the budget year that nothing is in the budget again for WASH. But we will talk about that. I just want to come to Honorable Cheolo too. I want to leave the national scene a little bit and go into Lofa County District 5. I'm sure because many of our legislators, when they are opting for the office, the issue of WASH is something, education and empowerment, all of that are always part of it. But WASH is something that we rarely hear about. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what's happening in your district when it comes to the issue of WASH? Matter of fact, now you are the co-chair of the Legislative Caucus.
Thank you. And I think this was just a coincidence for me. When I just took over, I decided to construct a latrine, a public latrine for the market, building there in my district salary. And then it was not too long when I came, I was put on this committee as a co-chair. Recent year being, I found out that within my own district, this is lacking. And one of the things we have to first of all work on is educating our people. We need strong publicity, both in the local dialect, in the churches, in the mall, flyers. The people have to be informed about this work. It's not only just about latrine. It's about even water, the safety of water, the safe drinking water that we have. And I can tell you, just 2 weeks ago, I was telling my colleagues, I went in a village, very gen populated village. This village has a river that when it is rainy season is very filled. They have to use the ferry to cross. This time around, you can run into the water. It is that same water the people drinking.
Wow.
It's that same water they wash their clothes. It's that same water they defecate in. So when I came and putting me on this committee, I said, wow, this is something that God wants me to be part of. So I say this to say that I was telling my colleagues, I was telling him this morning, I said, look, we have to start from Moserado. Moserado has a huge challenge than even the interior. The interior people are there afraid. There should be policy put into place. The local leadership had to come in. Everybody had to be part of this stuff. If we want to succeed, we have to take it to the grassroots. That being various social workers are within the community, even the NGOs are coming. How well do we have forgotten about hand washing? We are forgetting about the hand sanitation we use. I mean, the hand sanitizer we use.
Yeah.
All those things are going away because the corona people
Ibu
are
dana
gone
ye,
in that year.
ukuru dana
So
ye
I say
in.
this to say the interior will not be hard for us, but the city area will be more difficult for us. We need more education. You see that a lot of abandoned buildings. These buildings have been used to throw dirt. These buildings have been used to defecate in it. How do we encourage our people to stop doing it? What provision are we going to make? So when you tell the person, stop using this, you should have provision for them.
Okay.
So there are a lot of challenges, like you said, budget allocation will come, human resources have to come, and then the educational part is there. So not just saying once, I was telling him, I say, yeah, we can say it, but we have to be very strong on the book to make sure that this thing comes to reality.
Okay, so you're listening to the Bumper Show on ERBC Radio. Representative Augustine Chiwolo, the District 5 representative of Lofa County and co-chair of the WASH Legislative Caucus, is here. Tumetikwe, the head of the WASH Legislative Caucus Secretariat, is also here. Both are our guests on this first segment of the program. We are talking about the relaunch of the WASH Legislative Caucus that is to be done this Friday. And that's what we're talking about. We will open the lines so you can have your interaction with your lawmaker in studio this afternoon. But team, you know, what I was just mentioning, right? They cry about no money. International partners supporting our own WASH sector, nothing budgeted for our WASH sector. And with this huge number of legislators that now this WASH Legislative Caucus is bringing together, like I said, I don't expect at the end of or at the start of any budget year again, then the crowd will come back to the public that there is nothing in the budget for WASH. How do you intend to push and change this?
I mean, this come around is going to be much easier because, for example, you have Honorable Chilowe, who is currently in studio telling you about taking some concrete actions about the issues. In the past, you have just few people, but we've not really committed passion about the sector. But with the speaker, the deputy speaker involvement, and the leadership, the current leadership we have, the current leadership, we're talking about people who are even personally spending resources right now to make this thing work. The office of a secretariat is being furnished by the caucus members themselves. So it's not about joke. In the past, we've been talking about having a standing committee to talk about WASH and so forth. But right now, with they coming in, they are not even gone 4 or 5 months, and we gone good percentage in terms of having a standing committee in the house. So progress, we already have enough progress, and going forward, there's more progress you will hear from Capitol Hill. You listen to the Honorable talking about some of the initiatives you have done in your district. Now, up Capitol Hill, when you put money into the budget, your people in Lofa, Nima, Riverside, they will feel that funding you will put there because those resources will go directly to the people. The grassroots involvement is key, and that's, the dynamic is changing. People who are the lawmakers themselves taking the the driving seat. Before, it would be difficult to hear a lawmaker sitting and talking about the issue of water and sanitation. In the past, there has just been NGO driven stuff, but the whole world is changing, and everything needs to change along with the global community. In other countries, they are prioritizing the domestic resource mobilization, and that's why in Liberia, the caucus is leading on that. I can assure you, with the good number we have, including members of the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee, there will be a lot of progress made. And very soon, the secretary will come back to this studio and tell you exactly some of the progress following the launch of the caucus.
And you spoke about the issue of water, and I just want to share this because I remember sometimes back this current health ministry that we're using now, when Honorable Kofi Woods was the Minister of Public Works, and at the time there was a feasibility study about renovating that building for the official use of the Ministry of Health, and we were in a chat with him, and he said something to us. He said, "Look, gentlemen, let me tell you something. The issue of water is becoming a new phenomenon in the world because the world is lacking beyond unwashed, and this is where Liberia now should start focusing. And with what I'm seeing, the involvement of even legislators, it's a ray of hope shown to Liberians that something might happen anytime soon. But pretty soon, the relaunch will happen, and probably the necessary or the needed budget items will start to come in. How are you as a secretariat? I know the legislators, because you are not a legislator, you're just there to help with the organization. But some legislators now, the issue of conflict of interest might come in. I want my district to benefit, leaving a district that is so much in need, and another person wants their district to really benefit because of some political reason. How are we intending to guard against this?
So before the honorable talk about that, for us as secretariat, and that is why we have a secretariat, to provide the needed information to our bosses. The needed research need to be done. They need to understand which part of the country. Like you saw a lawmaker from Lofa telling you that we should start from Monserrato to end open defecation. So the necessary data need to be provided to our lawmakers so that those decisions that will be made at Capitol Building will be an informed decision. People make decisions based on data, and when you make decisions based on data, that help to impact the people that you serve, that you represent. And we can assure you, whatever progress that is made up Capitol Hill, people in Lofa, Nima, Riverside, whatever part of the country you find yourself, they will be aware. So is that about going to start with your district? It is about the national agenda. What is the statistic on the ground? How many persons are dying every day, from poor sanitation condition? Let's walk down Waterside, walk on Broad Street. How many people are suffering, because they don't have safe drinking water? Right now, we're in the dry season. Places, some of the rural you still have running water, right? But in most other people are putting water in the beds, in the same bed to how they call it, mud that even safe
to
for
screen
drinking.
it before.
So you expect a good result with the secretariat support, giving the necessary information to our bosses.
Okay, Co-Chair, you want to comment on guarding against the issue of conflict of interest, or you want your district to benefit when the other district should benefit?
Definitely. And like you rightly stated, data is also important, because when the donor, they come to support us, they will have to look at your data you have. Sometimes the donor themselves decide where they want to go based on their own research they have made. But I'm just saying, in my own common sense, when I told you about Lofa County, right?
Sure.
I think there's something that I saw that I could handle myself, even though I will need donor support. But I think at the level we are, the population, well-populated area, are what we should be talking about. Where you have a lot of infrastructures, where you have the population have increased, you have children going to school, and you have a lot of clinics that are now where to standard. These are the areas we should be focusing on first, so that we go down gradually. In a village, you can call the people one evening, you can educate them, you can talk to them, especially when you go to the traditional way, you pass a law, it will hold. In Monrovia, people are very stubborn. In
Okay.
Kakata, Mangibi, Nima, Ganta, those places are well populated. People will not want to. They will want to say, look, we've been doing this over a year. But like I said, the most important thing here is about educating our people on a daily basis, or because when people go, you see somebody die from malaria, they will not just know.
Mm.
Tell them what is the cost. The dirt you put over there, your hand you're not washing to eat, the food you eat in the market. These are the causes that are making you to have this thing. Water running, climate change is another more problem we're having.
Oh, yes.
You realize that bulk of the well we get dry. So how can we plan in the future to start to tackle these things besides just coming up with the policy, okay, hand washing, giving water to people? We should be thinking about the next 4 to 5 years when climate change will come, where you have to go deeper to dig well. What happens in that community I went in? I have just brought somebody to go there and then construct one hand pump. Yet
Okay.
in the future we'll make it two. I mean, anybody can attest to it. That's what we are doing now. We are doing an assessment to know how much this pump will cost, and it's a distance from here. Maybe was it 15 hours drive from Monrovia there.
Wow.
Drive with the real car. So we are saying this that we should start with populated area. We should start with data collection uh, based on the secretariat what they have, not just because I want it or not just because I said I saw the incident in my community, so we should go there. It's got to be very real.
Okay. And talking about this WASH legislative caucus, I'm sure it will not only be important to the country as a whole, but might be very, very important to the legislature, the Capitol building. I was assigned at the Capitol building for several years at the Liberian Senate, and I know what we journalists, even workers there, went through when it comes to the issue of water for these various, bathrooms, latrines in the legislature. It's something that was very, very challenging. I don't know whether the situation has changed. I don't know what have you seen since you entered there, but wash in relations to the Capitol building. What's your own engagement? How you intend, to change it around?
So thank you. My first week at the Capitol is not like this time. There have been some improvement.
Okay.
When I got there, actually, there was no running water into the bathroom, and that was a challenge that I wanted to put forward. But we have a team. We have a very good speaker, a speaker that listens to people, and we also have a committee. All those committees said those people are people that have been in the 54th, so they know exactly what goes on. So I can tell you that there are more improvement that have been done
Okay.
prior to the time we met. I mean, we went there. They had this continuum park at the backyard where people used to go. They have taken it from there. People are now using the bathroom flushing. The only thing we will suggest in the future that every lawmaker should have a bathroom in their offices.
Okay.
All of the offices should have a bathroom so that it will ease the problem that a lawmaker want to use his bathroom, a guest want to use a bathroom. But I know people are working on that. The committees are working on that. And to be frank, I must say thanks because there have been much improvement compared to the 1 week when I spent there.
Okay. Okay, so we can take your interaction quickly. 080514096 You can call us on those numbers. You can ask your questions. You have comments, you can put them coming through. Recommendations. That's why we are here talking about the relaunch of the WASH Legislative Caucus. And this very important organ of the 55th legislature is going to affect every part of the country because this group of lawmakers are being put together to ensure that everything necessary to improve WASH across the country. Talking about budgeting, talking about policy, you heard from the secretariat head. These are things that they are going to be working on. So you can call us on 080514096 0777 Hello? Hello? Hello, caller, are you there? Wow, seems to be having a little problem with this line. Okay, I just don't know what's going on, but we can get you, caller. I don't know what's happening. 0777835862080051496. Call the number and we can try again. A call just came in, but I don't know what's the problem. We can get it. But Tim, you wanted to add something before we?
Yes, when we went to Dakar to launch the Grover Wash Legislative Caucus, there was a statement made by the co-chair at the time, Honorable Vincent Wede, that water is a good politics. And let show you that every lawmaker.
Water is a good politics.
Yes, it's not just politics, but a good politics.
Okay.
And every lawmaker that pay keen attention to wash in general, I can tell you that I don't see why we take you in power easily.
Okay.
Because you cannot go one day without water. Water is very, very important, and the issue of sanitation, hygiene, So when you have a lawmakers that focusing on those issues that affect your daily lives, you have to take them very serious. And that's why we are very grateful to those lawmakers. They are not just representing their districts, but rather they are putting our country first.
Okay.
So the rest of them who are not yet part of the caucus, we encourage them to be a part, because there is about the country, there is about our citizens, there is about the lives of people that we lost every day. Imagine a pregnant woman going to that clinic and there is no water. Yeah.
Okay, let's take this person. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, welcome you live.
Robert calling from Grand Bassa County in the Loop.
Okay. Let's hear from you.
Thank you for our representative in the house there. We say thank you, and all the mechanisms that they put into place, we happy of it. But my point let for them to divide it through to the various committee and to the various candidate. At least the other people also they start a process. The other people also they start a process, because mostly the community that we live in, the water activity is too high, and especially with the dry season, the well is too deep. When children is in there, in the well, they don't able to draw water, and the water dry in our community.
I say, inter wedding can be too deep.
Yeah,
thank you.
Some of the wedding you know that thing, you have to see your own child there.
Okay.
So the weather be 100 feet or more than 150 feet. So it's that small thing. It can be too deep.
Okay.
So we are appealing to them that they must divide the group into they must divide the group in the company.
Okay.
That must start in Mosolano alone, because that Mosolano alone of all the population is present in Mosolano.
Yeah.
Divide the group, at least the other group can benefit.
Thank you very much. Your words are well taken. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Monroe Gambe, and I call you from Upper Mangibi.
All right.
Yeah, let me say thank you to the team of WASH Secretariat, and also thank you to the leadership of the 55th National Legislature. And the issue of WASH for my community or my region, I want to say thanks to Living Water International, because they have been one of the key partners in promoting hygiene in the rural parts of Liberia.
They're doing well there in your area, eh?
Oh, yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they did extremely well.
Okay.
So what I want to suggest is time that when concessionaires are coming in our country, especially those that are involved in the rubber sector, they should try to do some manufacturing of some pipes and other materials that we need to have more supplies for our water to homes. Liberia have a lot of rivers,
Okay.
so it will be important to take the advantage. And also, there's time too for the EPA to step up and do some monitoring to some concession areas. Because more concession areas, people are complaining of hygiene. So
Okay.
it's time for the EPA to be able to work along with the Secretariat and work with the concessionaires so that we'll be able to top up with their hygiene.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. I want to ask you again, Honorable Chewolo, before we go on to something else. The policy on city ordinance and things, right? That will fall within your purview, because these things happen. People just dispose of garbage anywhere, anytime, without disregard to the environment. How do you intend to engage these city corporations to ensure that these city ordinances are adhered to? I'm sure that will change something.
And so that's the reason why on Friday we are going to have this assembly at the Bolivar Palace, where in fact organizations and institutions that are involved in sanitation will be invited,
Okay.
and so that the TOR will be read, will be reviewed, policies will be read, and we're going to sit and have a committee to discuss all these things, so that just as you said, there are institutions that are responsible for these things, so they all are going to work along with us. We can't do it alone.
Sure.
We are just taking the lead to make sure that everybody get on board and everybody be part of it. But if you take care of your health in your home and I take care of mine, you will see that the community will be clean.
Okay.
So let me use it time also to request to my lawmakers, they send it both lower and upper house, that on Friday we are going to be meeting at Bolivar Palace Hotel, and that program starts at 8 and it ends at 2:30. So we are going to be there to be informed exactly about what is all about. Our partners will be there, donors will be there, other institutions that have similar objective we have going to be there.
Okay.
So in the various counties, we know we have we have city mayors, we have commissioners. We are going to work through these people to make sure that the information flows.
Okay. I will take your parting comment before I take Honorable Chewolo parting comment, because I have a question to ask him apart from the wash business. So let's hear from you, Tim.
Yes. So before I give a parting comment, as a secretariat, every quarter we'll be highlighting counties that are making headway in promoting WASH through their lawmakers.
Okay.
They need to be known, because that is very key. So I'm very grateful to all of those lawmakers who are currently part of the caucus, and we call on the 73 members to be part of this caucus, so that the issue of water and sanitation can be highlighted on the agenda of the legislature. Thanks so much to the chair and the co-chair and the rest of the caucus members. We really appreciate their support, and thanks also to Water E for being a great support to this initiative. On Friday, we hope to see the rest of the caucus members and our partners in a meeting to be able to discuss the issue and relaunch, so that we can address most of those challenges in the sector.
Okay.
Thank you.
Honorable Chewolo, yesterday the legislature took a landmark decision to vote on a resolution for the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code. Did you vote for that?
Oh yes, I did.
Okay. Why?
Let me just ask you one question. Do we have a police station in this country?
Oh yeah.
Do we have a court?
Sure.
Do we have a jailhouse?
Several of them.
So that is just in addition to what we have. Setting a war crime code is a precedent, and we think that people should not use Liberia as a scapegoat. This is not a witch hunting; it's for our generation. We may likely be going, but we want to set a precedent so that people will not just feel that they will come use hindrance crime and go free. People will come and invest and take our natural resources, our money, and invest in themselves and go free. So I signed for justice, I signed for peace, and I stand today to sign for it again.
Okay. All right. So on that note, that's how we...
So before you go...
Thank you. You can go ahead.
I won't come here without talking about my program.
Okay.
I run the program in the Republic of Liberia, in the 10 counties.
Okay.
I run a Clubfoot program. If you have heard about the Clubfoot program, this is the Ponsete doctor.
Okay, the Clubfoot.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had the only person that have been trained and I've been carrying on this program for the past 15 years, 12 years, free of charge. And so I just want to reiterate that the Clubfoot program is here. Besides me being in the house, I can still put all my honorable suit and try to make sure that the children that are born with Clubfoot, the Clubfoot is the deformities of the foot.
Okay.
Children that are born, they have their foot trained in war and they walk at the back of their feet. Okay. So we don't have any institution here besides the Clubfoot program, and I can't come on this kind of a public platform without talking about it.
That's laudable, sir.
And so we want to encourage the public to make sure that no child should be born with Clubfoot and be left in Liberia. We want to make sure that we reach to everywhere that children that have Clubfoot will treat them free of charge in Liberia. And today we are in 10 counties and our program is going well. We have treated more than 4,000 kids.
Okay, wow. So in Mosorado, where do you have
Mosorado, you get ready in Pinsville, Bassatan, there where we have our office. And BC have been there before.
Yeah.
At the time David Coty went there,
Okay.
Once he did some program, I came in and did some advocate. We also have our jingle. We want to give you our jingle to play it just so that the public can hear. The program is actually free. I mean,
Okay.
the treatment process is actually free.
Okay.
So I want to say thank you. You asked for my parting statement. I want to say thank you, and also encouraging all of our lawmakers to be to this program on Friday, because if each lawmaker, you heard a brother say that Buchanan, we can go Buchanan, you have a lawmaker that is there. That lawmaker should be able to institute whatsoever that will be said at the house so that his community can benefit from it.
Okay.
So we are encouraging all lawmakers to make sure that we turn out on Friday in full so that we can support the sanitations and water for all program.
Okay, Representative Augustine Chiwolo, he is the District 5 representative of Lofa County, also the co-chair on the WASH Legislative Caucus. We also had Timothy Kwe, the head of the WASH Legislative Caucus Secretariat, here today talking about issues of WASH and the relaunch of the WASH Legislative Caucus on Friday. So on that note, that's how we call it a quit on this first segment. Keep listening to the program. We are going to introduce another guest very soon, so don't go away. It's the Bumper Show, and it's here on ELBC Radio. Don't go away. We are still here.